What's going on, y'all? Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you'd like to donate to the channel, the cash that's in the top right corner of the video. But let's get into it, man, because today's topic is about Elliot Wilson. Now, Drake had actually thought that Elliot Wilson at one point could have been the mole, and he reflects on that story in a recent podcast that he did on The Bigger Picture. Shout out Elliot Wilson, DJ Head, and Jeremy Heck over there at The Bigger Picture. But he actually reacted to this, recapped on it, and talked about it on the podcast. So I'm gonna play the clip right now so we could get into it.
Drake replies, "Man, I know you out there in Venice. Stop asking me questions. LOL." And you put aha, but like, what's going on?
That didn't make sense until the Hard Part 6 came out and him saying that you're in the Venice studio. Because I do think that he thought from the raps that Kendrick was in New York working on these records, right? And wasn't in LA. And then I think they put a picture of Alchemist and him in the studio, which was an old picture. And then I think he thought Meet the Grams Alchemist produced, so he's in Venice working, like in that area. Ellie lives in Venice. So then I'm roped in like I'm in the studio celebrating with these niggas. Like, I don't know what's going on. I never heard anything about anything till it came out. Just like I had a total fan experience of this whole battle. I'm just asking like that. Like, I want to hear the song.
Do you think 616 actually kind of got in his head a little bit where he didn't know who to trust? And like now you're somehow on a list of like, I can't trust this person?
Yeah. And he empowered other people. That's when the classic stay on stream happens, right? He tells Kai Cenat, get on stream tonight. He tells academics to leave the Andrew Schultz show and go home and get on stream. And he sends Maul the little button. I was part of those rollouts. I told the world, if you're reading This Is Too Late as the real title, those Certified Lover Boy banners across the cities when it came out. I've been part of like helping him roll out projects of him sending stuff that he wants out to the world. So I know the game. It's like he's now picking certain people, but now I'm on the op list. I was on the op list because we had to fall off over the Bobby interview, but then we did squash it. We got cool again. So I was surprised that all of a sudden I'm back on the op list.
This is real interesting considering the fact that Drake had taken shots at Elliot Wilson and Kendrick Lamar, thinking that Elliot Wilson was the mole in the Hard Part 6, talking about Venice, saying that he knows that he's there with Kendrick, assuming that he was there because of an old picture with Alchemist and Kendrick Lamar in the studio. But you so thirsty, you're not concerned with the investigation. Instead, you're in Venice studio. It's a celebration where the lyrics on the Hard Part 6. But really, it's what's said in 616 in LA, like Jeremy had said, that made Drake start thinking like this in the middle of the beef. This is at the peak of the beef. They're dropping track after track. And from my understanding of the story, Elliot Wilson contacts Drake in the middle of the beef before the Hard Part 6 was even recorded, before we even saw these lyrics being created. I'm telling you, man, those lyrics in 616 in LA were really messing with Drake's head at that point. 100 people that you got on salary, and 20 of them want you as a casualty, and one of them is actually next to you, and 2 of them are practically tired of your lifestyle. So I really think that Drake looked at Elliot Wilson as somebody who had crossed it, somebody who had did him dirty. He thought that he was working with Kendrick Lamar. I think the paranoia of the beef, the paranoia of the lyrics that were said in 16 in LA, the items that were being shared, the things that were said in Meet the Grams, all of this, right? It made Drake so paranoid, he lashed out at Elliot Wilson. Now, they had their issues in the past because of that Bobby interview, like Elliot said, but they had squashed any issues that they had. But the fact that he had thought for a split second that Elliot Wilson could have been the mole is giving us a deeper perspective on how this beef played out in real time. Drake was so paranoid, he didn't know who to trust. If we had a beef and we squashed it, that makes you suspect in Drake eyes, apparently, because he cut off Elliot Wilson immediately after that, and he called him a rat. But you know what's crazy about Drake calling Elliot Wilson a rat and Drake thinking that he's the mole? Is that Elliot Wilson couldn't be the mole, because when he met Kendrick Lamar at the Not Like Us music video shoot in Compton, Kendrick Lamar approached Elliot Wilson, dapped him up, leaned in close, and called him a rat as well. So not only did Elliot Wilson get called a rat by Drake, he also got called a rat by Kendrick Lamar. But this right here was enough proof to debunk that Elliot Wilson was in cahoots with Kendrick Lamar.
It's like, okay, Kendrick's doing this video, his long room, he's doing this video, whatever. I'm in Cali. If I'm in town, I got to pull up in this shit. So I finally found somebody to give me the plug of where I knew one of the setups to the shoot's going to be at, which is the Compton City Courthouse. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to go to Compton. I've been to Compton before. I was in Compton with Roddy Ricch doing a car test back in the day. I think Westside Boogie took me to Compton too. So I've been to Compton a couple times. I mean, obviously, so you got head on a swivel, you got to move a certain way. But I see Dave Free. I'm like, oh, my nigga Dave Free. Like, I'm doing the Drake shit. I'm like, yo, Dave, you want to kick me out, man? Don't kick me out, Dave. I want to stay for the shoot, man. Am I good? Am I good? Dave's like, yeah, Elliot, we didn't invite you, but it's cool. So he's cool. But he asked me to stay low. So I'm going to stay low.
All right, that's
but here's the problem. It's hard for me to stay low because now niggas know who I am. Dave gave me the pass. I'm hanging around. And then Dave Free pulls me again. Like, talk to the manager, like baseball and shit. We go walk to the side. Like, Elliot, you wasn't invited, but you was here. And you were like, and you ain't really pick a side in this shit. But
Word,
you gotta,
like that.
you gotta be low with this shit. Like, I don't know who you here with. You know, the real niggas is out here. It's like, I ain't responsible if something happens to you. Basically, like blah blah, like da 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 da.
But that's real shit though in Cali though. In Cali,
100%.
because you're
and
out there.
I respect it. I was like, cool. Blah, blah. The thing, so then like, he does do the shoot like a couple times. He's only doing like the last part because clearly he knows the part of the song he wants to do.
Yes,
that setup with the bikers and everybody behind him. I'm a dead beat, and he looks at me, and gives me that look like, and I'm like, so now I walk up to the thing, and he just daps me up, pulls me in. It's incredible dap, incredible hug.
What did he say to you?
Boy, he said, yeah, you're right.
Oh, no, he didn't. No, he did not.
Then the nigga pulled back.
He did not call you that.
Didn't have no love. Like, there wasn't like friendly. Like, was kind of like, and what nigga? Like, energy was like, and what nigga? Like, it wasn't even like a friendly, like.
He pulled you in and called you a rat at the same.
You're a rat. Just like Drake had said. I guess he's playing. I don't know to this day. Like the Drake shit, like playing to the thing. Then I said, I'm about to take my leave. So it was upstairs there. I walked the stairs downstairs, called the Uber.
It's time to go.
Now, what makes this story very interesting is that Elliot Wilson even pointed out himself. Kendrick and Drake both called him a rat. And he wasn't sure if Kendrick was alluding to Drake calling him a rat. I'm not even sure if Elliot Wilson had posted that publicly for Kendrick to know. But he himself is saying, I'm not sure if he knew because of Drake calling me that. So I'm assuming he did. But it is pretty strange how they both called him the same thing. But without a doubt, Elliot Wilson is not the mole. I don't think he's a mole in the OVO camp. He's not one of the 20, you know what I'm saying? But taking a step back now, hearing this story, it's without a doubt that the lyrics that were said in here had Drake questioning everybody that he knew. Anybody that he had a recent issue with, even if they patched it up, it didn't matter. At this point in time, the paranoia was so high, he had to figure out who is somebody that's giving out intel to this other side. To this day, we don't even know who the actual mole is. We don't know if there was somebody in OVO who was feeding information. Is it 40? Is it Boy Wonder? A lot of people want to know. I'm pretty sure at this point, Drake wanted to know. And him putting Elliot Wilson on the op list this early in the beef should let you know how panicked Drake was at this time. But I think that Drake thinking that Elliot Wilson is a mole became debunked when him and Kendrick called him a rat, especially when Kendrick called him that also. It showed that he wasn't working with Kendrick Lamar, and he was telling the truth when he said that he was listening to all these songs, all this music from a fan's perspective. And even though a rat and a mole might be considered a similar species, I don't think that Elliot Wilson was ever the mole. But I appreciate Elliot Wilson's content, and I always appreciated the stuff that he's put out. I've always appreciated Jeremy Heck, DJ Head, The Bigger Picture, and all that, bro. So shout out to them over there on their channel. I thought this story gave a really good insight in regards to 616 in LA and how Drake reacted to it. I think the paranoia was eating him alive, wondering who was actually betraying him. And to this day, we don't know. Like I said, I've done a couple videos about 40, about Boy Wonder, about other people that could have possibly been in Drake's life at the time. But as far as right now, the identity for the mole is still unsolved. We'll still have to figure out, see who it is. Was there a person or a group of people plotting against Drake? Was it Kendrick Lamar getting in Drake's head? Was it 40? Was it Boy Wonder? Was it Georgia Smith? Y'all tell me in the comments, bro. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Peace. Keep it alleged.